Hello, everybody. Happy Daylight Savings Time Day and happy first Sunday of Lent. I think this is day 4 for me now. The last time I talked about objections to the moral argument for the existence of God. I've gone through the historical argument and I've gone through the moral argument. There is another class of arguments for the existence of God that goes by the name the Cosmological Argument. And basically, the first two arguments that I talked about look at man. What is it about us that hints, in fact, that God exists? This other class of arguments, think of the word cosmological, cosmos, looks at the cosmos. That is, looks at all of creation. I know that presumes the existence of God, the use of the term creation, but that is what we're looking at. We're looking at the world around us, and we're seeing that there are things about the world that speak to the existence of God. One of those things would be order. The fact is that the universe is orderly, and it is remarkable the more that you examine it in terms of the laws of physics, the cycles of the seasons, even such minute things as seashells with their intricate design, which is in fact mathematical, the more you see that there is order to the universe. And that obviously begs the question, just like with the other arguments for the existence of God, if there is a moral law, there is a moral lawgiver. If man has a religious sense and it is universal, that speaks to a source for that outside of man. So too, if you see order in the universe, that speaks to an orderer. There also seems to be disorder in the universe, and that clearly would be the biggest objection. If there's order, but there's also disorder. I'm not sure there is. I'm not sure there is disorder to the universe. It used to be, for instance, that we thought that weather was arbitrary and random. Storms would pop up. But as we've advanced in science, we've seen that things that we assumed were random, that would just happen, in fact, demonstrate our lack of knowledge about the physical universe around us. And if we had a fuller knowledge of science, which we've gained in terms of weather, we can predict the weather because it follows a pattern. There are certain low pressure and high pressure points at which the winds move, at which the rain falls. These things have an order to them as well, even though with lack of knowledge, we'd assume that they were disordered or random. There is no randomness that I can see in the universe, just a lack of our knowledge for how it functions. Does this mean that there is a God? Well, I mean, there are other alternative explanations as well. But to say that someone is not rational because they believe in God doesn't fit what we see when we examine the universe around us. What we see, as I've said, is order, and where there is order, it is natural to presume that there is an orderer. So there are strains of the cosmological argument that focus on that. There are others that even the ancient Greeks hypothesized, considering and observing the world around us, that look at the fact that there is cause and effect, and that there is motion. And the ancient Greeks observed that every chain of cause and effect and every motion, in fact, has a beginning. It cannot go on backward into infinity, what is known as the infinite regress. To say that it can is to violate common sense. Those are my 5 minutes. That's what I have for today. I'll be back at this tomorrow. God bless.